Donald Trump has gone and done it, man. We are now in the middle of another Middle Eastern conflict. Now, last night, Donald Trump ordered attacks on civilian airfields in response to the chemical attack that killed nearly 100 civilians. In fact, I want to show you a video here of Donald Trump announcing the reason for this attack. Let's take a look.
On Tuesday, Syrian dictator Bashar Al-Assad launched a horrible chemical weapons attack on innocent civilians. Using a deadly nerve agent, Assad choked out the lives of helpless men, women, and children. It was a slow and brutal death for so many. Even beautiful babies were cruelly murdered in this very barbaric attack. No child of God should ever suffer such horror. Tonight I ordered a targeted military strike on the airfield in Syria from where the chemical attack was launched. Years of previous attempts at changing Assad's behavior have all failed, and failed very dramatically. As a result, the refugee crisis continues to deepen, and the region continues to destabilize, threatening the United States and its allies. Tonight I call on all civilized nations to join us in seeking to end the slaughter and bloodshed in Syria, and also to end terrorism of all kinds and all types.
Hey, man, I had to do it. I had to protect those beautiful babies. I can't believe they attacked their own civilians. I can't believe it. Even the babies, even the children. You realize the babies and the children, those are the people that you locked out of the country. Those are the people you banned from America. So how dare you go and actually pretend to care about the beautiful babies? What did you think was going to happen when you locked them out? When you said, no refugees, we're not going to take any refugees. No, not at all. What do you think was going to happen? You send them back to a war zone, they're going to get killed in the war zone. You didn't think Assad was going to gas his own people? Of course he was going to gas his own people. We knew that was going to happen. That's why we were saying, hey, let's take some refugees. You know, the people that are fleeing not only Assad, but also ISIS. You have people who are trapped in this situation that you've decided we're going to not let them leave that situation. It's, God, it's disgusting. Now, his hypocrisy on this issue, by the way, knows no bounds. Remember, you were so worried about the babies. You were so worried about the babies, but you weren't worried about it before. In fact, I've got some previous tweets from Donald Trump about what to do in Syria. He said in June 16th of 2013, he said, we should stay the hell out of Syria. The rebels are just as bad as the current regime. What will we get for our lives and billions? Zero. Okay, that's pretty clear. Now, this is ironic. Why do we keep broadcasting when we're going to attack Syria? Why can't we just be quiet, and if we attack at all, catch them by surprise? So here's what's ironic about that situation, right? So before the attack, we told Russia, hey, we're going to attack Syria. We're going to launch some missiles. Just a heads up. Well, you know what Russia did? Russia's the ally of Syria in the area. Russia tells Syria, hey, there's going to be an attack. Isn't that weird? That's super weird. And in fact, before the attack, Syria evacuated most of their personnel, their base, and of course, some of the equipment. Now, this is in response to someone else, and this is August of 2013. No, dopey. I would not go into Syria, but if I did, it would be by surprise and not blurted out all over the media like fools. Oops. Who's dopey now? August 29th of 2013, he tweeted out, what will we get for bombing Syria besides more debt and a possible long-term conflict? Obama needs congressional approval. That's funny. Obama needs congressional approval, but you don't. You didn't ask. You didn't ask for Congress, for congressional approval. In fact, you have two senators from two different sides. One, you have Rand Paul saying, hey, all you did was launch an illegal attack. You didn't get my authorization. Quote, the president needs congressional authorization for military action as required by the Constitution, and I call on him to come to Congress for a proper debate. According to Rand Paul, our prior interventions in this region have done nothing to make us safer, and Syria will be no different. And you also had Elizabeth Warren on the other side, saying the Constitution gives the power to authorize the use of military force to the legislative branch. Expanded military intervention in Syria requires action by Congress. If President Trump expects such an authorization, he owes the American people an explanation of his strategy to bring an end to the violence in Syria. We should not escalate this conflict without clear goals and a plan to achieve them. So, look, most of Congress, unfortunately, seems more hung up on the procedure. Hey, you didn't ask us. Other than the fact that this is the wrong thing to do, that this is not going to help, and that maybe we should be criticizing the fact that we're locking out more refugees instead of taking them in so they can avoid being gassed by Assad, or working with the international community to try to make sure that we can do something about Assad's use of chemical weapons. And I'm not necessarily saying that we have to take a military action, but I'd rather not take a unilateral military action, especially considering the bigger dynamics at play when it comes to Iran and Russia, who also are in the area. And again, Russia is an ally of Assad. Well, we just attacked their ally. That might not be a good thing to do. Tensions are already high enough with Russia, and this could escalate into a larger conflict. But again, we don't hear a lot of senators talking about that, even including Rand Paul and Senator Warren. Donald Trump apparently agreed with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. In fact, she recently had said, she had recently come out in a video that's floating around the internet, Hillary Clinton did, saying, hey, you know what's a great idea? Let's attack the Syrian airfields. And then a couple hours later, Donald Trump attacks the Syrian airfields. Wonderful. So now he's working and doing the same thing that Hillary Clinton wanted to do. Fantastic. So, but however, back in 2013, Trump had a different view of the situation. He said, again to our very foolish leader, do not attack Syria. If you do, many very bad things will happen, and from that fight, the U.S. gets nothing. Don't attack Syria, an attack that will bring nothing but trouble for the U.S. Focus on making our country strong and great again. Obama must now focus on our country, jobs, healthcare, and all of our many, many problems. Forget Syria and make America great again. So what changed? What changed? I'm not necessarily sure. I'm not necessarily sure of his reasons. Maybe it's the fact that he's had sagging poll numbers, and the best way to do that is to try to, well, I mean, not the best way, but I guess the tried and true way is to get us involved into another conflict. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't seem to be working. There's a lot of people working against him now. You even have a lot of his supporters saying, hey, we didn't vote for you to go and start another conflict in the Middle East. In fact, we voted for you because you weren't going to. You've even got the alt-right, the, Milo Yiannopoulos, going out there and saying, hey, what are we doing? We don't want to get involved in that. Like, what are you doing, Trump? We supported you because you said you weren't going to care about other people. Very interesting. So, look, the whole issue here, we've attacked a country in the Middle East. Again, that never ends well. And as much as I feel for the victims of the chemical attack, which Assad obviously should not be using those, but we can't just go and unilaterally attack nations. This is not going to work. Okay, we have to actually get together with the UN and work with our allies and try to figure out some sort of solution. I don't know what the solution is, but I know what the solution isn't, and that's war. We can't just do that. This is a very complex situation. And what we're doing, I feel like Donald Trump is bumbling us into a situation to feed his own ego. Remember, I'm going to show you in the next segment where after this happened, the media is fawning over him. They absolutely so bold, so presidential. This is why Donald Trump did this. For positive media coverage. Because the media has never met a war they didn't like. That's what this is all about. And this is what we've been warning about the whole time. No matter who you voted for in this election, you were going to get a war. We were going to get a war. We were going to get a war with Hillary Clinton. She wanted to do the same thing. Now, the difference is she probably would have worked with our allies first before attacking. But Donald Trump don't care. Snap decision, and it's not based on humanitarian aid. It's based on ego. It's based on what can I do to make the media like me again? What can I do for all this? And unfortunately, it seems to work. I don't know if it's going to work with this base, but it sure as hell is working with the media. This is a dangerous situation that we've just bumbled our way into. And look, we don't need conflict. We don't need another conflict in the Middle East. We don't need it with Syria. We sure as hell don't need it with Russia. Launching bombs, that's never the answer. We have to go and figure out the right answer. But I can certainly say that it is not the right answer to start launching weapons, to start shooting missiles at people. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.